Hi, I'm Becca, and today I'm going to show you how you would allow multiple mouse clicks in one trial in your PsychoPy experiment. So this sounds super simple, but it is something that people ask me quite a lot on workshops or the forum. So hopefully if you've been thinking this question too, this will also help answer that question for you. So all I'm going to do is super simple. I'm just going to show the participant 3 boxes, and I want them to click on 2 of the boxes to end the trial, rather than just allowing them to click on 1 of the boxes. So first things first, I'm going to make my boxes. So I will add myself a polygon. I'm going to call this here box 1. Make sure it's a rectangle, but it will actually be just as wide as it is tall by default. And I'm making this infinite duration. I am going to make it just a little bit smaller. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and I'm going to paste it. So make box 2 and then make box 3. And all I'm going to do is I'll just edit the position of box 2 and box 3 so that all these 3 boxes aren't overlapping one another. What I want to do here is I'm just changing 1 to be on the left and 1 to be on the right. So I should now see a row of boxes when I run my experiment. So I've just clicked run here. Hopefully that will work. And if it does, then I'm going to bring in my mouse component. Lovely, I can see my squares. Okay, so these are the clickable things, and the participant is just going to be told, click on 2 of the boxes. Okay, right, let's add in our mouse component. So I'm going to go to responses, and I'm just going to add a mouse. And the mouse needs to also be of infinite duration. The participant has as long as they want to make their responses. And here it's just important to talk through the different kinds of options there are for ending this routine based on mouse responses. So by default, we have any click, which just means if the participant clicks anywhere on the screen, then that is going to end this trial or end this routine. Alternatively, we might allow a valid click only to end this routine. Now, what that means is, for example, here I have 3 boxes, and I would only want my participant to be able to end this trial if they click on 1 of the boxes. I want it to ignore if they click anywhere else on the screen. Now, if I only wanted the participant to click on 1 box, then this would be enough. I could change this to valid click, and I could write here box 1, box 2, box 3. But I would like something subtly different here. I want the routine to end on 2 clicks rather than 1. So for this reason, I am going to say end routine on press never. What I am going to do though in the data tab is I want to save the mouse state on every click. This just means that I'll have a list of clicks in my data output so that I can see all the clicks that were made by my participant. Okay, and actually maybe I do, no, I'll do that. Okay, right, so now I have my 3 boxes, I have my mouse component, but my participant still has no way of ending this trial or ending this routine. So for that reason, I'm going to need a code component. So my code component's in my favorites. If you can't find yours there, have a look in custom and it will be underneath there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to say at the beginning of my routine, I am going to say, I'll have an empty list that is called clicked things. Now this is just going to be a list that contains the names of the things that have been clicked. So if box 1 and box 2 have been clicked, those things will be in this list. If box 1, box 2, box 3 have been clicked, they'll all be in this list, and so on. So how do I add to this list? Now I'm going to go to the each frame tab, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch on every frame, is the mouse currently pressed in one of my boxes? So what I want to do first of all is I'm just going to say I have a list of things called clickables, and that's going to be box 1, box 2 and box 3. Now if you're less familiar with Python programming, don't worry too much. We're just going to, this is actually a nice introduction to the use of for loops. If you're more experienced with Python programming, then this will probably seem quite familiar to you. What we're going to do is we are going to go through each element in this list, and we're going to check, is my mouse currently pressed in that element? So to do that, I'm going to say for clickable in clickables, if mouse dot is pressed in clickable, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the name of the thing that the mouse is pressed in to my clicked things list. So I'm going to say clicked things.append clickable.name. So that will just correspond to either box 1, box 2 or box 3. Now let's be kind to future us, let's leave some comments. So I'm just going to say here, check if the mouse is pressed in any of the boxes. Let me zoom out so you can see that. Lovely. Okay, nice. Now perhaps I want some feedback so that my participant can see what boxes they've clicked already. So let's change the box to blue if clicked. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for clickable in clickables, if clickable.name in clicked things, so it's in the list of things that have been clicked, then clickable.color equals, let's change it to be blue. Okay, so let's give that a little go here. I am going to say okay, save that, run it, and hopefully now I should be able to click on several of my boxes and they change to blue when I click them. Okay. Ah, we have an error, an unanticipated error. Of course, I've spelled something wrong. Name error, name clickables is not defined. So let's find where that is. Where have I made that error? Here it is. And what I'm going to do, just to make sure I've spelled that correctly, is I'm just going to paste that in here. Okay. I'm not going to edit that error out because I feel like errors are a natural part of the learning process. It's important for us to keep them in. I use PsychoPy every day and sometimes encounter errors still. So yay, we've got our boxes. Let me try and click on things. Beautiful. They change colour. What I want now is I want my trial to end if I've clicked on 2 things. So what I'm going to do, just as a kind of lazy quick approach, is I'm actually just going to check how many blue boxes do I have. So what I'll do here is I'll say clicked n equals 0. And here, when I change my box to blue, I'm actually just going to also add 1 to my clicked n. And what I'll do here is I'll say if clicked n equals 2, then continue routine equals false. Now, this continue routine variable is just a variable that lives under the hood of PsychoPy. It just allows you to end this routine and move on if some criteria is met or whenever you like. Okay, so what I will do here is I'll just click OK, save that, and I'll run it. Let's see if that works. Okay. And hopefully now when I click on the second thing, that ends this trial. Okay, lovely. Now maybe you want your participant to be able to see that they clicked that last thing. So I'll just add that in just as a little tweak here to see if this works. So what I'll do, rather than ending the routine here, is I'm going to add a variable to the beginning of my routine. And I'm going to call it waiting. I'm just going to say, are we currently waiting to end this trial? And what I'm going to do here is when I check if clicked n equals 2, I'm going to say and not waiting. And then what I'll do is I'll change waiting to be true. We're now waiting. The participant has made 2 responses. We're just waiting for the trial to end. This is just that pause period to show the participant that they've got 2 blue things. The trial's going to end. So what I'll do is I will say start time equals t, which is the current time of this routine since the start. And what I'll say then is, let's say here, elif clicked n equals 2 and waiting if t is greater than start time plus, let's say, just 100 milliseconds. Maybe even actually less. Let's say 50 milliseconds for the participant to just see that, get that second blue feedback. Then I'm going to say continue routine equals false. Okay, so we're just allowing a pause for your participant before they end the routine. So hopefully now I should see 2 blue things, and then we can call this a wrap. Fingers crossed. Right. C squares. I can click on one. And then I very briefly saw that blue square. I could have made it slightly longer, but hopefully that shows you how you would briefly pause before moving on. Okay, so that's more of a code-heavy tutorial, I guess, but hopefully this answers the question for many of you that were wondering how you allow or how you even handle multiple mouse clicks in a routine in PsychoPy. I hope you found this helpful, and hopefully I will see you in future PsychoPy tutorials.